Hey everyone, I'm here tracking keyboards with Todd Pentney today. Todd is one of my oldest friends, an unbelievable musician, incredible keyboard player of many sorts. And so today is a pretty exciting day for the studio. We really transformed it into just a giant keyboard station. Over here we have actually my Fender Rhodes, which has been really nicely tuned and touched up. And we sort of set this up here going into a Hazelrigg VDI. Sounds amazing. Then that's actually going into the room, the control room, where we mult it and send it back so that we can get a clean and affected version. Todd's got a really awesome Radial Key Largo setup where we can go through various effects that way. Then behind us, we have two synthesizers that Todd's playing, plus a laptop rig. The ASM Hydrasynth, what an incredible instrument, and Todd plays it so well. The aftertouch, the ability, the sounds, I'm just so inspired by it. Then the Prophet 6 on the top, and both of those all have their own dedicated stereo DIs, and then again are getting multed into the studio, come back out here so that he can then go through the Key Largo and the effects, and we can get a clean and affected signal, which is really cool. And then, using an Apollo X4, Todd has a Logic session open, and I think he's using either one of the keyboards to then trigger with MIDI various lead sounds and bass synth sounds that he wanted to bring to the session. So this whole world, there's a lot of things going on, but it's so nice to bring in an artist. I want it to feel like Todd's studio. He's an amazing studio where obviously he's got all his keyboards all around him. And I want him to be inspired here to be able to just sit down and do that. Both the engineers who are working on this project with me, Ryan McNabb and Alex Gamble, just did such a great job to work with Todd to just get this feeling comfortable. Then the other side of this room is the organ. And this is the acoustic capture, the immersive capture instrument of today. We have a Hammond over here. It's a great instrument. The Leslie is here in the middle of the room. And this was really working with Alex Gamble, the engineer, to figure out, what is a way to capture this instrument. Now, on this project, it's not being played as a jazz B3 organ. It's much more of a drone instrument and is meant to be, supporting various things and staying pretty dark. And therefore, actually, the Leslie doesn't, this instrument can get so loud. It could fill this room with ease, but actually, keeping the reeds sort of more closed, it's a bit of a darker tonality that's being used. So the close capture is essential. And one of the things that Alex brought up, which I really like, and it's sounding so fantastic, is rather than facing the Leslie this way into the room, really, because of the open slots and where we hear the bell sort of moving, it actually sort of, this apex here at the corner is sort of center, and then this is left, this is right, and the Doppler effect of hearing it behind us is something that we considered. So we have two 421s. They sound awesome. The RE20 is down there on the back at the bottom, sounding great. Then we also put an ORTF pair here of Shep's MK21s, just at a distance. Right now we have them in the wide surrounds, like in the 914 wide surrounds, and it's just very gently sort of providing a little distance. And then on an immersive standpoint, 4 4006s up high. Now, I'll admit, I initially thought that it would be cool to, place one here, place one over there, and sort of have us listener perspective inside the Leslie speaker. But Alex and I talked about it, and I agree that it's a very cool sound, but you actually lose perspective of what sitting in an audience listening to a Leslie is, which actually that Doppler effect of experiencing the horns spinning and bouncing off the wall behind us, and like that distance is a part of how the instrument creates sound. So we had this discussion this morning. It was really fun to think about. And so what we ended up doing was setting up the 4006s as height channels back, like basically, you know, front ones are here as though you're really close to the instrument. Back ones are further back. And so now we get that sense of the room and the space, and it's sounding really cool. It's capturing this part and allowing us to have what the Leslie is doing to the room as the capture, which is incredible. And then this time we got to take the Coles, which we've been using a lot as bidirectional pair to get reflections, and get them right up high. So they're, I don't know, they're probably about 15 feet off the ground, equally spaced basically in the center of the room. And in previous instruments that have been lower, putting them too high hasn't worked because there just hasn't been enough volume to engage the space. But this instrument is blooming. And so it's been really nice, like just to get the mics now with an instrument like this higher and engaging, you know, the reflections off the ceiling, the reflections in the higher part of the room. So a pretty awesome day. Todd, when he came in, he sort of came in and said, yeah, this is an ideal tracking session for a keyboard player where we can just focus on keyboard capture, everything from synthesizers to coming out of Logic with soft synths, Rhodes, and immersive organ capture. So enjoy, everybody. Thanks.